Spencer Lazar, MMAinterviews.tv, UFC 173 Fight Week alongside David Michaud. Your UFC debut this weekend. A pretty big week for you. You seem calm. You seem very relaxed, actually.
Yeah, I normally don't let anything really get to me, so, you know, just kind of try to take it in stride. It's just another fight. It's a big fight, obviously, but we'll wait until I step in the cage to start getting too excited.
Were you this calm when you got the call that you were getting to the big show in the octagon?
No, that was quite a bit different. Well, it was like, it took a while, you know, there was me and a couple other guys that were looking at, so it took a while, and then I was excited, and then I didn't know if I should get too excited because I might not get to for sure, but once I got the go-ahead, then it was like, you know, got pretty fired up.
Talk about the preparation for this fight.
I've been training down at the MMA lab in Phoenix with Ben Henderson, Joe Riggs, you know, all those guys, just a ton of good guys. And I was down there for about a month before I got the call. So I actually had some pretty good training going. I was looking for a fight and I couldn't find anything. So I just went down, I was fighting with them, I was training, and then I ended up getting the call. So it's kind of like I already went through a camp.
That's got to be pretty good for your confidence leading into a fight that, although it was short notice, not so much so.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's not like I just got the call and I was sitting on my couch eating Oreos 3 weeks ago and decided to take it. I've been training the past month and a half hard, solid, with a ton of UFC guys, UFC caliber guys, and it's been real good.
I was looking, you're actually a favorite in this fight. Can you talk about your opponent, and does that surprise you at all?
Well, I obviously think I'm the favorite. I would like to think, you know, I'm a 5-1 favorite, but for my opponent, I think he just, you know, not many people know much about him because he's from China. I looked him up. I couldn't find too much. He's the Legend FC welterweight champ, and it was hard to get a lot of the fights. I saw like 3 or 4, but you can't really find too much of his fights or his background. I saw he was a wrestler in China and a Sanda martial artist, which I guess is kind of like kickboxing, but I'm not sure 100% on the rules. And that's his background, and I seen that, but couldn't find anything of him. You know, I don't speak Chinese or type Chinese, so I couldn't get in on their websites, and it was kind of tough, but I saw a couple fights. I feel pretty confident coming in.
Did you see his last one, I assume, at the finale? The tough finale that he was on?
No, I didn't see that. I didn't think he was on tough.
Oh, he wasn't?
No, I'm pretty sure he wasn't. He just got signed out of Legend FC. They, I think they folded, and he was their welterweight champ, and then he got signed in January. And yeah, he wasn't on Ultimate Fighter China.
How did you get into mixed martial arts? What was your background?
Well, I wrestled for a long time. Like since I was born, my dad was the wrestling coach, so I came out just grappling, and my first
came out and double-legged the doctor.
Double-legged the doctor, put him in a cradle, cradled him, said, "You don't cradle me." My first fight was when I was 15. Actually, it was like a tough man at Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. They just put some mats down outside, and whoever could jump in. So my dad signed my release for him. I got in there, I won, and ever since then I've been training. You know, I started training boxing and a little bit of jiu-jitsu, mainly boxing, just because that was what we had where I'm from. Small town, didn't have any jiu-jitsu or anything, so we tried to learn it ourselves. And ever since then, just been working towards this.
The value of wrestling is always huge, regardless of the opponent. But we usually don't see really strong wrestlers necessarily, you know, from China. So is that really especially important and a big asset in this fight?
Yeah, I feel like, you know, it always is good to dictate where the fight goes. If I'm fighting him and he feels a little bit stronger on the feet, I'll take him down. If I'm fighting him and I'm beating him up on the feet and he wants to take me down, I can stop those takedowns and keep it on the feet and keep beating him up. And it's always good to have that extra weapon. You know, I want him to think about takedowns while I'm striking. That'll open up a lot more for me. I want him to think, you know, that it's going to be tough to take me down. So it's going to affect his shots. It's going to affect his striking and his setups. So I like that. I guess obviously I like that I'm good at wrestling, I guess you should say.
The weight cut, you don't seem like, you know, you talked about fighting before at 60 even. This fight's at welterweight. Do you feel comfortable with that weight?
Yeah, I've fought welterweight most of my career. My last fight was at 160. The fight before that was at 165, and that was the first time I was under welterweight. I actually was trying to get under 180 so I could take a fight at 55 because I was looking for something at 55, and I was pretty big. I was above 90, and so I started cutting a while ago to get under 80 so I could take a fight at 55. And whenever I finally got down to 180 is when I got the call. So I was like, man, I better start eating some steak. You know, I got to put some protein in me and get some muscle back.
Some heavy lifting.
Yeah, start hitting the 1-rep lifts.
Right on, man. Well, anything else you'd like to say? Anybody you'd like to thank going in here to your UFC debut?
I'd like to thank, everyone back home who supports me, back in South Dakota, Pine Ridge especially. That's my hometown, and everyone's just been so supportive, and everything's been going great. I don't know. I feel great coming into this fight, and everything's going good.
Do you expect any nerves once those lights are on, you're walking down there to the octagon, and give us a prediction for the fight? I'm
sure I'll be nervous. Whenever you get out there, it's like first UFC fight, it'll probably hit me, and I'll just try to keep it down as much as I can. Once the fight starts, once you get hit, you're not nervous anymore, so just waiting for that.
There you have it. David Michaud, check him out. UFC Fight Pass, UFC 173.
Hey, this is Ariane Celeste.
This is Uriah Faber. UFC lightweight champ Anthony Showtime Pettis.
This is Dan Henderson. You're watching MMA Interviews.
You're watching MMAinterviews.tv.